Hi, and welcome to another Teach to Learn Foundation video. Today we'll be talking about circles and angles inside of circles. There's three angles that you can have inside of circles. We can have central angles, we can have inscribed angles, or we can have angles that don't fit any of the criteria of either of those. Let's talk about some of these. We'll start with some central angles. Here we have a circle, a poorly drawn circle, and we have the center at O. If I draw two radii of this circle and it intercepts an arc that's equal to 50 degrees, what will the angle be? 50 degrees. The rule for central angles is that the arc equals the angle. Let's move on to inscribed angles. We have circle O again, and we have this angle whose vertex is on the circle. That's the definition of an inscribed angle. If we have the measure of this angle equal to 50, then what will the measure of the arc be? 100. That's the rule for inscribed angles. The arc is twice the measure of the angle, or the angle is half the measure of the arc. Now let's move on to angles that don't fit any of those criteria, that just intersect inside of this circle. You can easily calculate the measure of these angles if you have two chords. Arcs. Let's say the measure of this arc is 100 and the measure of this arc is 50. The rule for this is you add the two arcs, so 100 plus 50, then you divide by 2, and that'll give you the angle. So if we do this, 100 plus 50 equals 150. 150 divided by 2 equals 75. So the measures of the angles are 75 degrees. And both of them, of course, because they're intercepting lines and they're vertical angles. Now, those are angles inside of the triangle. Now, let's see an angle outside of the triangle. Let's draw a secant and a tangent to this circle. And we have the measure of this arc equals 25, and the measure of this arc equals 35. The rule for exterior angles of a circle are that you subtract them, so it's the opposite of an interior angle. Subtract them and you divide by 2 just like you do an interior angle. So 35 minus 25 equals 10. 10 divided by 2 equals 5. So the measure of the angle would be 5 degrees. You can also calculate these if you just have 2 of the 3 pieces of information. So you can have the measure of the angle and the measure of one of the arcs, and if you just label the other arc x, you can set it up as 100 plus x over 2 equals 75. And of course you'll get the same answer that this arc equals 50. You can do the same thing with exterior angles, and if this angle equals 75, this arc equals 200, and what's the measure of this arc? Well, 200 minus x over 2 equals 75. Cross multiply, 150 equals 200 minus x. Then you subtract 200 from both sides, and you'll get negative 50 equals negative x, and of course that means x equals 50. There you go. That's how to calculate the angles or arcs inside of a circle. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more videos that'll help you do well on your upcoming Regents examinations.